We have our nice clean case now. And I'm pulling these dowels out. That might be a tricky one. These are pretty short. We're going to mark where these go. We're going to put them right back. They are the correct height. They're all different heights. Easy. We got some over here. We have our nice clean ribs, everything clean. Some of these ribs are going to need repairs on the ends. They're a little chewed up. That will come later. Here's the base bridge. It has been stripped. Nice clean wood. There's still a little bit of finish left. That'll be sanded off. This bridge cap has been sanded nice and flat. We scraped the edges. This 45-degree or 30-degree piece. The next step is to put some finish on the bridge cap. It's okay if we get messy. We'll just sand this smooth again. Some shellac, and it will protect it, help preserve it, and make it look much better. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Should be easy. One shot. Got my finish jar in the way. There. Let that dry. Maybe give it a second coat, and then we can just take a nice flat sandpaper block and sand off all the excess that I spilt over the edge down here too. Here's the soundboard back in the case. Most of the shims have been taken out. You can see this big piece in the middle is all bubbled up. Push on it. Everything is expanded. Just about fits. But this needs to be dried out, and we can see how much it shrank, and this whole panel should move over quite a bit. And while that's happening, I can go and select some wood that we can add into here. The wood is of similar age, and we're going to do our best to match the color. This board seems to be very dirty in the middle. This might clean off, hopefully, all that dark color. Because over here, where it was under the plate for 140 years, it looks much cleaner. Here's my graphite. This was just put on with a hard felt. We wet the surface first, and then we just polish it on. Easy. Just like that. We have a nice graphited surface. We'll clean this up, let it dry. Some spillage. And the bridge will be looking very sharp. Our surface is good now. I need to clean these holes out. You can see when we super glued around the base of the pins, they filled in the holes a little bit. So I can use this to match the angle and drill these out. All these holes have been drilled out with slightly smaller drill bits than the size of the pins, so these pins should fit in nice and tight. The next step is to clean these pins up. I also scraped these edges again, cleaned them up, got rid of some of those brown marks from the wood. Now I'm putting shellac back on it. A few more coats of shellac, a few passes with the rag, and this bridge top should be finished, except for the pins. Here is one of the ribs of that Steinway. You can see, we're not sure what type of wood this is yet. We have a book. We're going to see if we can determine what this is. But some of these ribs, not this one, the ends are broken off, and I'm going to scab on some wood to replace the piece that is missing. And up here I have a big pile of ribs. So I'm just going to use some old rib wood to repair our ribs. I need to find wood that looks like it matches and wood that is big enough. Shouldn't be too hard. Hardman Peck 1920. All of these are antique. We think this is Sitka. It's kind of wavy. We'll look in the book. Most of these ribs have straight lines. Like this one. This is a nice looking rib. It's got finish on there. Ones like this. A lot of these are hard to see. There's a nice big one. That would be good for repairing. I'll try to match the color too. They'll be in the glue joint. It won't really matter if that's there. I don't think it would matter much if it was a little different. This might be one. Is it wide enough? Looks about the same width. This is a good candidate. Here's another one, a Hardman Peck, 6 foot grand. Another Hardman. Baldwin upright. We got all sorts of pianos. These big ones would be good. Big rib. Little double rib on the end there. I'll take this one. It might be good. I'll make sure I don't lose this in the pile. This might be good. Look at the crown in that one. It's like serious pre-crowned rib. These are neat to look at. Maybe ones like this. That looks like the right type of stuff. It's a nice wide one too. That might be the winner. So I'll take these 3. This is my real one. And that should be good. Here's one of the panels from that 1881 Steinway. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the ribs and find wood that matches this. Here we have a nice selection of old soundboard wood, all bundled together with its own type of wood, or from the piano it came from. Each bundle is one piano. Looking for color mostly. Same type of wood. That's what we want. This one looks okay. They all look real similar. There's a lot of wide grain in this piano. That one looks right. First one I grab. Let's see. Nice long ones. It's not a real big soundboard. When they're 8 feet long, then it's a bit of a problem. It might be a little too tight for what I'm looking for. What's over here? Stuff like that. Might be good. It's hard to tell. Stuff like this. Oh, this is a big bundle. Nice wood. I'll take this bundle. Looks like it's pretty good. This one might be pretty good. This looks a little wider on this top panel. If I put the original piece next to it. That looks similar. That looks nice. I'll take this bundle, clean off the finish, and see if it's a good match. Here we have 1881 bridge pins. I ground the original tip off of this one, put a point on this end. This was the part that was originally sticking out of the bridge. This part is nice and clean from being in the bridge all these years. And I just hammer these back into the bridge. Careful to match the angle. Nice and solid. Super glue helps a lot. It's a little bouncy there. Once I hammer these all in as close as I dare with this hammer, because I don't want to hit the bridge with it, we have this tool here that allows me to hammer them where they need to be. And I have a jig that helps me see how high they need to be, about pretty close. Just make all the pins even. Moving on to the filing. Finishing up these last few. This one here. Those are all nice and flat. We can use this nice flat file. Make sure they're flat. It takes some time. Once these are all nice and flat, we can come back and show what happens next. Here's the bridge pins, nice and level. We put this paper on here and sand this with a block, and anyone that's too low, any pin that's too low will not show through the paper. Sometimes you can pull them up, cheat a little bit. These were all very level. They have a nice sheen on them now. They were sanded with 400 grit. And this should be good. Let's take these off. Nice shiny bridge. The last step is to put a little tiny amount of super glue around the base of these pins, and that will make sure they're very solid. Here's the first piece of soundboard that's going to be glued together. This crack will be cleaned up. We'll make both of these edges nice and flat so they will fit against the wood that we put in there. And here is my selected soundboard wood. You can see grain and color are a very good match. It's definitely thick enough. It's a very thick board. So I'll flatten these edges and be right back. Back in the case. Here are my pieces. Nice flat edge. You can see there's a screw hole there, and there's a little bit left of the original screw hole in this piece. So that went about there, and this was tight in the corner like that, so we're going to need a big piece like this. I got this. It's too long right now, but that's about the size of our spacer that we're going to put in next.
There's that little piece that was in 7 different pieces. We glued this part together first, and this came out good, hard as a rock. And our top piece lines up really well after 100 years. So we're going to glue it right now to this. Well, this is nice and warm, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. It doesn't always. Hopefully it will. I'm going to try not to get too much glue everywhere, excessive stuff. There we go, and then we'll put the glue on here. Try to get it on the right side of the part of the wood. I'll stick this here like this. Push this like that. Make sure it's lined up nice. And wipe off some excess so we can see what's going on. Make sure this end is lined up very good, like that, very good. And now a little tape there. That'll hold that there like that, hopefully. And these should go on here. course, everything has to be glued up. I mean, dry run we call it. We dry run everything. Everything is clamped up like this before hand with no glue to make sure everything goes right. When you have the glue, make sure this is tight here because it'll pop up. Now this looks pretty good here. It lines up pretty well, but I have a stick here to make sure it's down. Piece of pine. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Perfect. Okay, we'll just wait there, and our little piece is back, our original piece. I think the later ones were just one piece of maple in here.
Here's my little triangle piece. I glued this. This is what we believe to be Sitka spruce, and we believe this original board to be Sitka spruce. So it should be a very good match. You can see how much it shrank. I took quite a bit of wood off. Bad shadow. There we go. You can see if I just put this to this piece, it will definitely not line up. It sticks way out, so I have an expansion shim. It's going to be about that big. And that will be perfect. So I'll cut this off and glue it to this piece. We will continue with the next piece in a little bit. The grain in these ribs seem to match Douglas fir in this book, this one. You can see the pattern of the grain there. It seems to be the closest match. We don't think it is Sitka spruce. And here we have, this is one of those spare junk ribs I pulled out from our rib pile. And look at the match. Looks just about the same. I would say this is the same wood. So this is the rib that I'm going to use to repair the damaged ends on these ribs. This one is good. Over here we have the case. You can see over here quite a few ribs are damaged. This one, the whole tip is gone. I think we still have that one. These ones had the big holes drilled through them, and there was so little wood holding it there that it just broke off. Some of these are chewed up like that. This one's probably fine. That's not too bad. So that junk rib will now become a part of this Steinway. Here's another look at that spare rib I have that I'm going to use to patch these broken ribs. This one, you might not be able to tell, it seems to be the same wood. That's good. This one has some finish, I believe. It's a little brighter. That should be a good repair. This is probably, again, about 100 years old. Older, maybe newer. About the same. And what I'm going to do is add a tip onto this. About here. A few of the ribs are broken like that. So that's the next step. Here's the small bridge. Again, we need just some finish on here. A little bit of shellac on this bare wood. And then it will be pretty much ready to go onto the soundboard. We'll put a new dowel in there. I couldn't pull that out. I just cut it off and flush with the face. We'll drill that out and put a new one in. That goes through the soundboard into a rib, usually. No, there's no holes in the ribs on this piano. So that just goes right into the soundboard. That might have been to help locate it at the factory. So this little one was pretty quick to do. And up here we have the long bridge. That takes some time. I already super glued everything. All these cracks are nice and sealed. There was tiny bits of loose wood around these pinholes in some spots. Those are nice and solid now. So the next step is to strip this. Strip off all this old finish. That's pretty easy. It comes off very fast. And then pull all these pins out. It takes some time. Once those are out, I can clean the scallops, put new graphite on, and then put some finish on. That's pretty much it. There's a little more to it than that, but we'll see. Here's my first rib repair. You can see I scabbed on that junk rib we had. Same type of wood. Looks like the grain even matches. So that's a good strong repair. See the lap joint there? That end fits there. That goes right in there. Nice flush with the rim. All these ribs are a little sloppy. This is a factory one. Look how sloppy they are. Oops, that's good. Good repair. We have two more to do. This one I glued. Also, these ribs, each rib is a different thickness. This is the thickest one, and it was a little too thick for one piece of that rib to cover it, so I put two together. The glue slid a little bit. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. It'll be nice and strong once I shape this, trim off all the excess. This will fit, oops, over here. It's way too long. It goes there. So that's good. Two more to do, and then I can start working on the panels.